All right, everyone, we got Coach here. We'll go ahead and get started. First question, Cheryl, ready?
Hi, Coach. How you doing?
Good, Cheryl. How are you?
Good, good. Matt, yesterday the NFL came out with the new protocols for COVID. And now that you have this camp over with and you got training camp in several weeks, how many players do you think is going to take this new protocols and get vaccinated?
Yeah, Cheryl, I don't know exactly. I know our trainer has all the exact numbers. I would say this, what we've done this entire time with the vaccination is we've really educated and encouraged them as much as we can. And I think encouraged our players would kind of agree in a big way that we hit it every day. And we educate the why part behind it. And that's all we can do. I would say, in general terms, that we're sitting in a really good place right now, and we feel good about where we're at as a team collectively, and that we want to just keep on going.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, Miller?
Matt, what do you want Justin to work on over these next few weeks before you get to training camp and seeing like that progress of just kind of grasping this next step for him?
Sure. Yeah, Dion, for him, is matter of fact, I look outside right now and I can see that he's out here talking one-on-one with some of our tight ends on a specific red zone concept that we had. And I think that stuff like that is when you're communicating and talking through why something didn't go the way you wanted it to go on a particular play, and you talk through it. Now, after you see these guys talking, you want to see the next time they run the play, you want to see it come to fruition. And that's the steady incremental improvement that he can have, and you learn timing. And so probably the tempo in and out of the huddle, the play results, and then being able to bounce back from any type of good and bad play.
Brad Biggs?
Hey, Matt, I've got two questions. First, with a guy like Damiere Byrd, what kind of elements can he bring to your offense? What have you seen from him over the past couple of weeks? And then I'm just curious if you can provide us a status on Bilal Nichols.
Sure. So with Damiere, I think it's pretty evident of the season that he's had the past few years, and last year being in New England. What he brings is a nice element of speed and playmaking ability with the ball in his hands. And then the other part too, Brad, that I really like is he's really a student of the game. He's able to come in here and digest different positions and not make mistakes or make the same mistake twice. So that's a credit to him. I mean, he's new to this offense, and he's very eager. He's attentive in meetings, and you can see it on the field. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do now. Again, somebody like him that's new, what he's going to do in training camp and in the preseason, because he's done a great job so far. And then with Bilal, he has an issue with his toe. So we're working through that. And I think right now it happened the other day in practice. So we just got to work through that with Andre and kind of keep a status on that moving forward. But I feel like he's going to be fine. It's again, on the conservative level, we want to make sure that we don't make it any worse.
Hey, Matt, forgive me if you've already talked about this, but I don't recall if you did. Now that we've talked to all the players, what are your feelings about the 17th game? And as a follow-up, what is your sense as to why so many seem so upset? Do you think maybe it's more general dissatisfaction with the CBA, or is it really a focus on the 17th game?
You know what, Hub? For me, it's kind of, sometimes some people get heavily involved in that, and they decide to have an opinion one way or the other. And you may not believe me when I say this, but whatever they say it is, that's what it is for me. And my mind just locks into that and I go. So I haven't really dove into my personal opinion too much as to the why part. I know there's a lot of different reasons why. And quite honestly, I listen to what people say. I think for us, what it does is it's certainly adding another game to the schedule. It gives you one more opportunity to get another win. It gives you one more opportunity to make sure that you now just got to stretch the season out practice-wise. But at the same point in time, for me, I'm fine with it. And I think it's going to be good for us to adjust to and look forward to playing that 17th game.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Pat Finley?
Matt, you've talked to us about Justin getting in and out of the huddle, calling plays, that sort of building block stuff. But were you able to learn anything this week about, what he's like with the ball in his hand after the snap, after the reads, in the wide vision and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I was. I think for him, you start to see that there's some throws that we knew going into it from his college tape that he throws better than others. And then we want to work on some of those areas of his weaknesses and try to improve those and figure out whether it's with flip fundamentally post snap with his footwork, with whether it's his mechanics when he's outside the pocket, or even whether it's post snap pat with a read that he makes post snap vision. Like today, it was a great teaching tool for him on the interception that he threw. In practice, when you do that, you're excited that happens, because what these guys do and what he'll do is he'll learn off of that, and he probably won't ever do that again. And so for us,
was that the 57? Was that the pick?
Yeah.
Right.
So that throw there into the red zone, for him, we went through the progression of what you see post snap and why you don't throw it to that spot. And he gave me a great answer as to why he went there. And so now we as coaches see why he did it. We can correct him. And now the next time that play is called, I'm going to guarantee you that he won't make that same mistake. And now you got a chance to make, a touchdown instead of an interception. So, that's just one example. But what we're able to do now is we now have this entire offseason where we can just take all of his clips in, whether it's the run game, the pass game, the play action, the movements, the screens, whatever. And we can start saying, okay, this is where we got to get better. And this is where we got to keep growing.
Dan?
Matt, I got a quick follow-up to Cheryl's question and then a totally unrelated question. On the vaccine topic, when you talk to guys, are you able to understand why there is a widespread resistance seemingly across the league to players getting it?
So I would say this, and I don't talk about the league as I do just for me in general, is any way you look at this, we all have an opinion. We all have a belief of what we want to do. So I start there. The next part is that we just take the education that we get from the experts, and then we're the conduit to the players. And I think what I've learned is that you can not talk about it and hope that people understand the whys or why nots and the everything that goes with it, or you can talk about it a lot. And we've decided to really try to hit it every day with these guys. And you never know, there's some questions that guys don't have, or that don't want to ask. And so I don't know why, other than I do know this: if you don't get your vaccination, it's pretty simple. You're going to be going and following the exact rules that we followed last year in 2020. And I can tell you right now, that wasn't fun, and it's a pain in the tail. So, for me, it was really simple, because every day I walk out of my office and I go to grab my mask and realize I don't have to. I kind of like that.
My football question is, you made it clear coming out of last season that red zone efficiency was something that you were disappointed in and wanted to get better. I'm curious what your specific goals are there, and whether you have any sort of, surface level progress report after these last few weeks.
Yeah, well, we're going to really emphasize the red zone in training camp. I think it's going to be important to look at that and to continue to hit conceptually what we have, and then what our players do well. And when you get down in there, you can't kick field goals. You got to have touchdowns. It's just, you have to score points. And so there's some concepts that we'll keep. There's some concepts that we'll add. And I think schematically for us, we'll keep that with us. But I do like where we're at, and being able to kind of see the why part, and then look at teams too that do a good job at running stuff in the red zone, and what's their whys, and why is it? Is it just guys making good plays, or is it schematics? And so that's kind of where we're at, and we're excited in training camp to really put an emphasis on that.
Stacey Dales?
Hey, Coach, when you have new quarterbacks like you do, it seems like you want to build an offense around your quarterback. So Andy, and then it would obviously be Justin. Is there a sense for you now in year 4 that you feel like you're starting from scratch because you have new quarterbacks, or how is this thing evolving despite having 2 new quarterbacks on the roster, obviously heading into this season with Andy starting, and what's going to look different for us?
Sure. Yeah, Stacey, I think for us, it's something where we got to decide, okay, our identity. And I know, and you talk about that every year, and we know what we want to be. But to your point also, two of your three quarterbacks are new to the system, now it's about making sure that we do some things that we want to do that tailor who they are. And they've done a great job with that. Andy, we knew going into this that Andy is very open. He's also opinionated in a good way because he's had a bunch of experience. And so he's done a lot of this, but then he'll give his opinions on how he sees things as well. Justin's completely new, to this whole part. So for him, it's a lot more listening. But again, as they grow, they become more confident or have any concerns in a play, they get more vocal. And so what we're doing in our coaching staff, the offensive side of the ball, I think they're doing a really good job of tailoring all of this to those guys' strengths. And now we'll just have to kind of see and make sure that we're letting our guys play fast. That's probably the ultimate goal,
Colleen King.
Hey, Matt, I wanted to ask you about a couple of guys that you brought in after they opted out last season, Marquise Goodwin and Damian Williams. What were you looking for from them over the last few weeks to make sure they were ready to go, after a year off? And did you see what you wanted to see?
Yeah, Colleen, there are two guys that we brought in here that we're really excited. Number one, that the shape they're in. You could go both ways with the COVID deal. When a guy sits out, you're not sure, okay, are they in shape? Are they out of shape? That's a major red flag and concern for a lot of people. But for both of those guys, I think with Marquise, everybody knows, he trains and has trained for the Olympics. And anytime you have an Olympic mentality, you're different. And so you're always, that's a minute by minute, hour by hour regimen that you're keeping your body in shape. And we were joking the other day, you see on the software services that we have on all these players, the data, you see their speed, and it has their speed locked in from when they were in college. And so some of these guys 10 years later are 4.31, 4.37, but really right now they're running a 4.58. And I was joking with him about it. He said, Coach, I'm faster now than what I was when I came out. And so that's, for him, that's never going to change. With Damian, again, a guy that has been in a similar style offense. So that part has been easier for him. But what I haven't talked about with both of those guys is that their mentality and their buy-in to this offense, to this team, to this organization is off the charts. And so that part to me is special. And they're great leaders, and we're really excited to see what they do moving forward.
We got time for one more quick. Adam Johns.
Hey, Matt, when Justin flashes, when his talent flashes in these settings, whether it's that touchdown pass to Ryan Alday or scrambling and hitting Cole in the back of the end zone, like how do you keep that in context internally, whether it's now in mini camp or later in training camp? And then maybe how does that affect how the plan changes for him in terms of challenging him within that plan?
Yeah, when somebody can use their legs and has the speed that he has, that's a weapon. And any defensive coordinator that sees that, and he's kind of on another level because there's like the 4.6 number and then there's the 4.4 number. And when you're 4.4, that's on another level, and you're going to outrun anybody really that's on that field. And so that scares defensive coordinators. The stuff that you're seeing when he scrambles or makes a throw on the run, whether it's 7-on-7 or in team, again, these guys on defense are taught, do not get around any of these quarterbacks. There's a halo, so they pull off a lot, or there's drop eight, or there's something going on. So that's good for us to work the drill. But, that's what he's done. He's done that. He's made plays. And now what we got to do is say, how do we use that? And I think Justin would tell you that one of the things that he does is he tries to be a quarterback first and then use his legs when he has to. And sometimes for us as coaches, you would think a lot of guys like that want to run, but for us, it's the opposite. We're going to tell them, hey, if you get a chance to run, because you're special with your legs. And so just as he's running on the field, a lot of these guys right now in practice are taking off, and they're ready to get out of here and leave camp and get back for training camp. And we talked about them vamoosing out of here. So I'm excited to see, and I told them to just be careful. So that's it.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll have players in next.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone, we'll get started with Tevin Jenkins. If you have a question, please raise your hand. I'll call on you.
Sorry, I'm still chugging this. Plus, I didn't get all my water in. I didn't make sure to get all the water in too.
All right, first question, Brad Biggs.
Hey, Tevin, I'm curious, how you've been able to sort of get your feet wet and adjust to the NFL game over the past couple weeks. What specifically have you learned? What do you feel like? Hey, they're going to want me to get a lot better at this when I show up for training camp.
Yeah, as of right now, I'm doing rotation. I'm working in as the best I can. Right now, for me to get my feet wet, I'm trying my best to understand the pace of the game as we're going against the defense and understanding how fast the changes from college to NFL, of course. And for me, it's always about getting in there with Coach Castillo and just keep on working on my sets, working on my left, and just keep on working on that till I'm getting more fluid and be more comfortable in my stance.
Cheryl Ray.
Devin, what's the most important thing you need to do between now and when training camp starts in 5 weeks?
I'll say one big thing for me is knowing the playbooks. So, and for me, that is the biggest part of football for myself. So I'm not afraid of making any mistakes because I already know where to go, how to do things, whatever play is called. So I'll go and play 100% instead of pushing myself mid-play or before the play.
Thank you.
Mark Potash.
Hey, Tevin, I know this whole episode has been a whirlwind for you. I'd just like to know if you woke up tomorrow and it was the first day of training camp, would you be okay with that? Or after all this, do you feel like, hey, I need a little bit of a break just to kind of, breathe a little bit?
No, I mean, this is just more work for me. That's exactly what I need. So I'll be happy with it because I just want to keep on perfecting my craft. So I'd be 100% okay.
Chris Emma.
Tevin, two-parter. One, where do you plan to be the next several weeks before training camp, getting your work in? And then, being a physical player like you are, what's your excitement level to strap on the pads and kind of show what you can do?
First part, right now I'm planning on going back to Dallas. I'm going to take some time and be with my girl and hang out with her and her family, take some time off. And then after that, I do plan on going like 100% training, I wouldn't say blank to the wall, because I'm trying to censor myself and go all out, and then the second part, I'm actually very excited to put on pads. It's been however many months for me, and I've been missing that sound, missing that feeling, and I'm very excited to get back out there.
Dan?
Tevin, what for you do you think brought out more of your edge last season and allowed it to go to a new level?
For my understanding, for myself, as I self-critiqued it was my understanding of how to use and when to use controlled aggression and understanding the game more and not being afraid to make any mistakes.
As a quick follow-up, rookies didn't have much in person last year. It was a lot of Zoom meetings, no on-field stuff. I'm curious in this last 5-6 week period, what you think you gained out of being on the field and being able to access sort of the traditional spring period in the NFL?
I'll say definitely making these relationships, going in and out of the building, meeting everybody in and out, and then start actually getting, like, as the question earlier was, getting my feet wet inside of this team, this playbook, and understanding how fast the transition is from college to NFL.
Thank you.
Dion,
Tevin, was there a moment when the veterans came in and you were able to kind of see them? I know it's limited what you guys are doing on the field, but did you feel like, okay, I belong here? Did you have that moment at all that you knew you were, I guess, ready for this?
I'll say, yeah, there was a moment, there's like a lot of moments for me because we've been going for the past, since OTAs, some veteran guys showed up to OTAs, how that went down. And, when everybody got here for the mandatory mini camp, I felt like I belong where I am and exactly where I'm going to be.
Pat Finley.
I'm curious what you saw about Justin Fields and the way he interacted with the offensive side of the ball that jumped out at you and what that might say about him as a player?
Personally, I wouldn't say I was not paying attention to Justin, but I was busy focusing on myself and my own critique and my technique, and that's one thing I'm big on is like looking at my problems, looking at my execution, how I'm doing, and then going back. But, I couldn't give you a solid answer on it.
Got time for a couple more. Eric Edholm?
Yeah, Tevin, just following up a little bit on what Pat was asking. I know you said you're working on your own stuff, but have you gotten a chance to know Justin at all? I know when he got to Ohio State, some people said he was a little bit reserved, quiet at first. What have your impressions been of Justin, just sort of interacting with him between plays, off the field, whatever?
I mean, personally, he seems like a great guy. I've been in the locker room. He definitely every morning says good morning to me. We mess around a little bit. We see each other when we're doing like some rehab, like hot tubs, cold tubs. Just some rehab stuff. We always talk, and sometimes we do text back and forth. But I mean, he seems like an outgoing guy. Seems like a great guy, and I'm happy to be on the same team as him.
And last one, Alex.
Hey, Tevin, you said it's been great being here, building relationships. I'm wondering if any of the veterans kind of taken you under their wing, and if so, what kind of tips have they given you to acclimate to the NFL level?
Yeah, there's been multiple on the whole line, like James Daniels, Cody, Jermaine, and and Elijah a little bit too, and for me, from listening what they have to say, like from little things of take care of your body, get in the weight room, get to the film room, do everything like this. They even help me on the field during certain sets, tells me if it wasn't good enough, I'll go back and do it again, and there's little things like that from them is going to make it I would say, payoff for me as a player. And I really appreciate them for doing that, and that's one thing really I can say for them is just thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. All right, everyone, we have Jalen Johnson here with us. We'll go ahead and get started with Mike Berman.
Berman. Jalen, with Kyle no longer on the team, you're kind of looked to as cornerback number one. How do you feel a year of experience gives you the ability to step into that role and exceed in that role?
I mean, it's something I've been working for my whole life. I mean, it's not just after 1 year. Of course, we all know that rookie year is the hardest, of course. I mean, just being able to learn from that and just kind of take all my preparation throughout my years of playing football and being a leader throughout high school, throughout college. I mean, it's no different now being in the NFL. So, I mean, it's just being able to take what I've been doing my whole life and just being able to perform and bring others along and teach them the things that I learned from last year and just trying to help everybody improve the best way I can.
Chris Emma?
Jalen, first of all, how are you health-wise? I know you had some issues kind of late in last season. And then what do you feel like you learned from your rookie season that kind of set you for a foundation this second year?
I mean, I'm 100% healthy. I'm out there. I'm just trying to get better with the guys again these last 3 days. So, I mean, I'm good. I'm 100%. But, I mean, just from last year, the game naturally slows down getting that year under your belt. So, I mean, for me, just my body is more at ease. My mind is more at ease, being able to see things, being able to have better eyes and just a better understanding of what the offense is trying to do and just how the defense works as well. So, I mean, it's just easier mentally, which allows my body to be able to play a little faster.
Pat Finley?
Jalen, is there one thing that's jumped out at you when you've seen Justin Fields in drills during these last couple of days?
Nah, I don't see Justin Fields in drills. So, I mean, I have no idea what he does in drills. I mean, just walking around, kind of seeing him out on the field when he is out there competing against the defense. You can definitely tell he has a natural arm, a natural feel for where the ball should be when he does spin it and put it in the air. So, I mean, from what I've seen, everything is advertised physically. I mean, it's just any other rookie thing, just trying to get the mental game down.
As somebody who was a rookie just last year, do you appreciate how difficult it is to kind of step in and try and be yourself when you start this new job?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. It's not an easy thing. I mean, it's easy to say, but I mean, just coming in, being able to stay calm is not easy when you know you have a different type of pressure on yourself and just from everybody around you. So, I mean, I definitely know what it's like. I mean, not to his level, of course, we know where he's coming in and who he is. So, I mean, just being able to stay true to himself.
Colleen Kane?
Hey, Jalen, I was wondering if you could take us through the shoulder injury. Was there a relief that you didn't have to have surgery this time? And, what was the recovery process like over the last several months?
Yeah, now there was no structural damage. There wasn't anything major like that. It was just being able to get my shoulder back to 100%. I'm not going to go into the exact details of what exactly happened, but it was just about being able to get to 100%. So, I mean, that's what it was. I've been rehabbing, staying on top of my treatment and therapy and stuff on my shoulder. I mean, I'm just getting back healthy and trying to stay healthy.
Sean Hammond?
Hey, Jalen. Thomas Graham was telling us that you guys have a relationship going back to high school a little bit. What was your relationship like back then? And I guess what has it been like to, reconnect as teammates now?
High school, I mean, we were always competing against each other since, I mean, like you said, high school, from the Nike opening, 7-on-7s, things like that. So, I mean, even in college, we played Oregon every year, my 3 years there. So, I mean, just battling against him and his team for years and years now. So, I mean, just being able to be on the same team as him is definitely different. And just being able to learn and grow together. Because, I mean, I was in his shoes last year coming in as a rookie. So just being able to help him out and already having somewhat of a foundation, knowing each other and things like that. So, I mean, I'm definitely going to take care of him best way I can and give him everything that I know.
What have you seen from him this week, and how do you think he fits in with your secondary?
He fits in well. I mean, he plays with confidence, and he definitely has that swag to fit in the room perfectly fine. I mean, it's just about learning, and once you learn and your minds can be more at ease, then the physical aspect will come around for him. But we definitely know he's a playmaker and just has to get comfortable.
Dion?
Jalen, having been a rookie during a pandemic, how are you seeing that these reps, even though it is spring, are valuable for what you guys are hoping to do when you report for training camp?
I'm sorry, what's your name?
Dion?
I like that name. I've never seen a woman with that name. I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
what was the question? I was focused on the wrong thing.
That's okay. I was just asking, having been a rookie during a pandemic, how valuable is it to have these reps on the field right now and just to be able to have this mini camp for the rookies coming in, but also for you guys?
Ooh, I mean, it's definitely beneficial being able to get live reps and not getting coached through Zoom and through meetings and having to learn virtually and things like that. So just being able to get out here and make the mistakes without it really counting. Because I mean, when we get back to camp, that's when everything counts and everything is kind of amped up and there's a lot more pressure on your performance. So, I mean, just being able to be out here and be free, and just being able to learn as a rookie, I feel like that would have been something I would have really benefited from. But I mean, also it comes with the extra meetings, the extra workouts, the extra stress on your body. So, I mean, I'm kind of grateful I got to miss it on that aspect of it. But I mean, it's definitely beneficial to be able to get out here and get reps as a young guy.
Got time for a couple more. Alex Sparrow.
Hey, Jalen. Coach Nagy said he was going to mess around, or Sean Desai was going to mess around, moving you from the right side to the left side. I was wondering if you had any preference between the two, or does it not make any difference at all? Not really any adjustments you got to do.
No, it don't make no difference to me. I just want to be where the ball is at, and just being able to make plays and impact the defense the best way I can. So I mean, I don't really care or mind which side that's on.
And last one, Stacey Dales.
Hey, Jalen, what's impressed you most at this stage with Sean Desai as your new defensive coordinator? And I guess I would also ask you if you can answer both questions, please. Just what's the one stat that he keeps saying has to be better for this defense than it was last year?
I'll definitely say he's bringing a lot more attention to detail to everything that we're doing. I thought that's a big focus point in all aspects of our defense in terms of every position, just being more detail oriented in our technique and our disguise and just things like that. So, I mean, it's just about just getting better each and every day with the technique and just kind of learning the defense best as possible so we can being able to play together better. And then one stat, I would just say turnovers. I feel like we didn't turn the ball over as much, and I feel like that's what the game's about. Just being able to take the ball away and create turnovers and get the ball back to the offense.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, everybody.
All right, guys. We'll start with Hub Arkish.
Sorry, Justin, I had to get unmuted there. I'm curious, you got to work with most of the offensive guys the last couple of weeks in OTAs, but this week, I know most of your reps were with the twos, but you got to see the Bears' first defense for the first time. What are your general impressions of that defensive group? Did anybody in particular stick out to you?
I mean, yeah, we have a lot of great players on the defensive side of the ball. Of course, Khalil Mack, Bo Jackson on the back end. But, I mean, we have a lot of great players. So there's not really one that stuck out to me like crazy, of course, because now OTAs we can't really have on pads. But, I mean, they all look big, physical, and in shape. So it definitely should – it definitely should be fun, coming up for training camp.
I know you guys were really good at Ohio State, but did you notice the difference? I mean, how big a step up does it look like now that you see these guys?
It's I would say the biggest difference is definitely the front seven, but the DB is not really that much of a big difference in size, at least.
Thank you.
Hey, Justin, as I'm sure you're well aware of by now, a lot of Bears fans are eager for you to become the starting quarterback as soon as possible. I'm curious from the inside, if you could detail some of the minutia that you're working on and the entry-level stuff that you're working on now, whether it's cadence, huddle mechanics, things of that nature that are in the very early stages of developing, and what you think some of the more significant hurdles are to becoming a starter.
Yeah, I mean, just the things you stated, I think, that's probably the biggest step up is because at Ohio State, we pretty much went no huddle like 90, 95% of the time. So really just, getting through those basic mechanics and getting in and out of the huddle, making sure I'm on top of everything and just getting every little detail right.
Matt talks a lot to us about the plan and the developmental timeline for you. What's your understanding of sort of what the timeline is for your development and your comfort and belief in it?
I mean, if I don't believe in it, then it's not going to work out. So, I mean, my job is strictly to get better, be the best quarterback I can be, and help my team win. So that's what I'm going to do, whether it's starting, whether it's sitting. I'm going to do whatever that's going to help us win. So yeah.
Hey, Justin, like Dan said, the amount of attention that you've gotten here in the last 6 weeks from the people of Chicago is pretty big. Has there been a moment where you've been recognized around here, or anything that felt any different than kind of the attention you got when you were at Ohio State?
I mean, I've been noticed, a few places I've gone, like the stores, something like that, but nothing really different from, when I was in Columbus at Ohio State when I would go to Target. So it's just the same thing, really. So, I mean, of course, it's great seeing the love from all the Bears fans out there. And of course, they're really excited. And so am I. So I'm just, ready to, I guess, for the season and ready to get out there and play.
Do you have to embrace that in a way? Did you learn that at Ohio State?
I feel like there's no reason not to embrace it. I think there's a lot of people who would want to be in my shoes right now. So I'm just, grateful for the position that I am in. And I'm just going to, again, just take it day by day and, be the best quarterback that I can be.
Adam Jones.
Hey, Justin, two questions for you. In terms of establishing a rapport with your receivers and tight ends, what's that been like over OTAs, maybe learning their speed, learning what they do best? And specifically with guys like Cole Kmet, Darnell Mooney, and 2 days with Allen Robinson.
I mean, yeah, it's been great. Of course, all of those guys are, weapons on offense and, very talented. But just kind of, getting that time now with like routes on there and doing that stuff with them, that's really big just in terms of, seeing their body language, seeing the way they run each and every route. So, of course, the more reps we get with them, the better timing we'll have, and we'll both be on the same page. So but all of those guys are great guys on and off the field, and they've taught me a lot so far. So I'm definitely thankful for those guys.
And then in the meeting rooms with Coach Flip, how would you characterize the demands, the pressure he puts on you within that plan? To take things in the classroom to the field and whatnot.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call it pressure, but he definitely pushes me to be great. But that's already instilled in me. So he doesn't have to do much to push me to work harder, because I want to be that guy already. So but Flip's been great. I think one thing here that's that's just really stood out to me so far, is just how everyone is so positive here, and everybody's always in a good mood. Everybody is always just happy to be here, and just trying to get everybody better, and just trying to get this organization better. So I mean, that's of course been awesome to see, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Dion?
Justin, how important have these last couple of weeks been for you? And do you feel like it was really a benefit as you make this transition to have this off-season time?
I mean, of course. I mean, these last few weeks have been, a big help for me, just to, get around the veteran guys, learn from them, learn from guys like Andy, guys like Nick. They've taught me a lot, and just getting around my teammates and getting reps in with them. And I think the more reps that I get, the more reps in practice that I have, I think the more I'll grow. So these last few weeks have been great, and I've definitely learned a lot, and I think I've definitely progressed each and every day. So,
Mike Berman?
Justin, now you'll have 5 or so weeks of a break between this stuff and training camp. What are you planning to do during that time to stay in the best place as you approach training camp? And what do you expect your attitude above everything else to be as you get into training camp?
Yeah, of course the rookies have to stay here another week, but after that I'm just going to take a vacation with my family, then probably going to come up here about 2 weeks early, and then just work out, study film, meet with Coach Nagy individually on Zoom, most likely, and just talk about the playbook, and just kind of just right now I have a base idea of what plays we have right now, so just diving into that more, and just focusing on the small details, because when you have a big base of it, you can really start detailing each and every specific thing in a play and really get to know the play like the back of your hand. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing.
What do you want your mentality to be? What do you expect it to be as you go into training camp? You know that there's this plan for you to not be the starter, but so then how do you anticipate approaching training camp?
Just getting better every day. I mean, I've been in a situation like this before, and all I did was get better. So I feel like if you can control what you can control, and come to work every day with a positive attitude and a want to get better, then there's no stopping you. And I think when that time comes, when I do get my opportunity, I just have to be ready for that moment.
Michelle Field?
Hey, Justin, I just had a follow-up question. You just talked about learning from some of the veteran guys. What have you learned so far from Andy Dalton? And as a quick follow, is he taking an active role in kind of taking you under his wing?
I mean, yeah, I've learned a lot of things. I couldn't even name off a few things, but I mean, he's talked to me a lot. I actually went to dinner with him and his wife, so we talked a lot there, and kind of just his background and stuff like that, their story. But I mean, Andy and Nick, they've been awesome to me, probably bigger than you guys even know. Yeah, I mean, Andy's completely taken me under his wing. Any question that I have for him, he's going to answer. And then even when I'm throwing, I think there was one day out after OTAs, I was throwing extra after practice, and he stayed out there specifically just to, see maybe what I was doing wrong, and he was just trying to help me out. So, I mean, he's been a huge help for sure.
Eric?
Justin, after the red zone interception there, it looked like Coach Nagy came over and had a little chat with you. What did you see, and what was sort of his teaching point, if you will, from that play?
Yeah, it was a new play that we saw today, and he was just pretty much, telling me how he felt about that situation, what the defense was doing, and pretty much telling me that, that was a good learning experience right there, and that it won't happen again. So, yeah. About it.
And with you guys knowing your roles, knowing exactly where you fit, in the pecking order at quarterback, does that change the competitive dynamic at all? Does it allow you to, sort of not fret over one mistake or one, learning point like that, knowing that, your place is solid right now and there's no changing that?
Well, no matter what place you're in, I feel like as a player, if you're confident in what you can do, and how fast you learn. Like me personally, I tend to not make a mistake more than one time. So once I've made that mistake, I learned from that mistake, and I mean, there's a 99.9% that same mistake will not happen again. So, you know, I'm a quick learner, so I have full confidence in myself that, you know, one play I'm gonna rub it off and move on to the next play, because I mean, I know for myself at least that I can make that play easily. So yeah, I just learned from, you know, each and every mistake that I have in practice, and I know, you know, there are going to be mistakes made, so I just take those mistakes and learn from them and not make them again.
Stacey Dales.
Thanks, Aaron. Justin, Coach Nagy said one of your homework assignments through this break before training camp would be to call out plays into a recording device and basically send them in to Flip and Bill and him and et cetera. Can you describe what that looks like for you? And have you ever done that before? And I have a quick follow-up.
No, I mean, I would say that's probably the biggest change for me. It's not even the play calls, not the reads, none of that stuff, but it's literally just staying the play in the huddle. And some of our play calls are really long. So yeah, that's what I do. You know, I get the script the night before and I just go through them and read them. So, I mean, once I, you know, go through it a few times, and boom, I have it down like that. So that's probably been the thing I've been, you know, working on, and kind of the biggest change for me from coming from Ohio State, where most of our plays were called in from the sideline. We were getting signals to now getting it on the earpiece and now having to tell the whole offense to play call.
And just quickly, have you had any aha moments or sort of NFL breakthrough learning moments in these last 3 weeks that stand out?
What do you mean aha moments? Like,
just kind of like something really just connected with you given transitioning from college to the NFL where you're like, yeah, I got this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, the little intricacies and, you know, what defenses do and, you know, the things that we have within our plays, I feel like once you learn what those guys are doing and, you know, the jobs of, you know, our defensive players, like I talk to, you know, our DBs all the time on, you know, what their job is on this certain coverage and what they're supposed to have. And, you know, I'm learning from the defense and also learning from, you know, Bill, Flip, of course, Coach Nagy about, you know, the things within our plays that, you know, that are going to help me out when I'm actually on the field trying to execute those plays.
Mark Rudy.
Hey, Justin, back to the idea that the, you know, Bears fans really want to see you. Do you feel that on social media or any kind of media? And do you feel pressure because of that?
I mean, of course I feel it, but you know, great things don't happen all at once. So I'm just gonna be patient, and of course, like I said earlier, I mean, I've been in this situation before where you know, I've had to learn behind a guy, so this is nothing new for me. I'm just, you know, gonna take it day by day and get better each and every day. I'm gonna trust, you know, Coach Nagy and you know, the whole coaching staff here to, you know, develop me and make me the best quarterback that I can be.
We got time for two more. Dan.
Just, I'm curious on a lighter note, what your experience at Wrigley was like last weekend.
I mean, it was awesome. It was definitely awesome, and the standing ovation. It was a little bit longer than I expected, but I definitely felt the love from the Chicago fans, and it was definitely a scene that I've never seen before. You know, just that traditional field and that stadium, just seeing that atmosphere was definitely awesome. You know, I'll definitely have to go back, and of course, I'll have to catch me a Sox game too. So, and for the record, I don't want to split half and half, Cubs and Sox. So I'm a Sox and Cubs fan, just for the record.
Savvy.
Last one, Pat.
That's a veteran move right there. I
Yeah.
like that. When you go on vacation, are you the kind of guy that can get away from football, or are you going to be studying every day? And just, you know, in previous college seasons, what have you done before you've gone to camp to kind of, do you want to clear your head? Do you want to, what sort of mental space do you want to be in when you get back here?
Nah, for me, it's like if I go a day without getting better in one way, whether it's, you know, mentally, physically, I feel lazy and I feel like I'm not, you know, doing enough to, you know, accomplish what I accomplished. So for me personally, I have to do something, you know, football related, whether it's studying my plays for 45 minutes an hour, or working out. I have to do something to feel like I'm just, you know, being productive, because I don't feel like I love to feel like I'm being productive, and I don't like feeling that I'm being lazy, because that's one thing that I can't control is my work ethic. So I like to do something every day just to have that peace of mind, knowing that I'm getting better each and every day.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good one.